And we're back for a final episode of This Week in Ball State Sports here from the Wolf Boom Studio B campus. And we've got a lot to cover here with Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell coming up in a few moments. But first and foremost, just want to thank you, the listeners, the viewers, for every single show that we've had so far this academic year. It's been a blast. Since the start of August all the way to now, having this show live right here on WMUN has been awesome for us, the community, all of Ball State. So thank you for your support and your dedication to Ball State Athletics. Would also like to thank Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell, Jay Chapman, Wolf Boom President, and Steve Lindell for helping get all this together, because without them, it's not possible that we're here today alongside the Peak Sports Management folks as well. So a lot of people to thank, and more people to thank our producers, Jackson Jacoby, Aiden Foster, throughout the year as well. So without further ado, we have one final show here on This Week in Ball State Sports, and Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell is here with us. Jeff, we're going to go the whole time. You and I, 30 minutes. We've got a lot to talk about, but appreciate you joining us here.
Well, appreciate you having me, and I echo all that gratitude that you gave to everyone. It is special to be able to bring updates on a weekly basis about Ball State athletics to our community through the platform of Wolf Boom Radio and WMUN. So we are grateful, and we look forward to our continued partnership and collaboration as we continue to do so. And it's hard to believe, Mick, that today is the final episode of This Week in Ball State Sports for the academic year 25-26.
I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this, but wow, time flew by.
I
just can't believe
it. The year always goes by quickly, and this one has been no exception. I was thinking about it on the way in this morning, how I really can't believe that we're in the early stages of May, and it feels like we're still right in the thick of it, because I'm getting ready to go to Los Angeles.
I was about to say, you're about to board a flight.
That's right, to cheer on our Ball State men's volleyball program. But the fact of the matter is that we are winding down to the athletic seasons now for 25-26. The academic year, of course, ended this past Saturday with the 204th commencement at Ball State.
Did you see the social media post from Ball State men's volleyball when they landed in L.A. yesterday?
I think I may have. It
was Lucas Machado was front and center of
the
post.
Yes.
And did you see the caption? Hopped off the plane at LAX. Did you sing that in Miley Cyrus' voice? Party in the USA?
I may have sung it, but it wasn't in the voice. It was in my own voice.
Okay, that makes
which
sense.
doesn't sound as good as
Miley
Miley
Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Singing to Miley.
Yeah.
Which is good, but I think that it was such a unique experience for them to land in LA. You've got the chance to play in the Final Four. This men's volleyball run is looking for the first men's team title in Ball State program history. They've got 2 games to get it done.
Yeah, I think they are embracing the opportunity. You visit with those talented student athletes, Mick, and they are very confident in their ability, and they play a connected brand of volleyball. Somebody asked me yesterday, how do you describe this team? And I said, where they're connected, the way they play. And you go back and look at their first few matches of the season, you look at them in the middle of the season, you look at them at the end of the season, and there's not much difference in how they play. They've been steady, they've been consistent, and now I will say I think they have continued to improve, and I think that's the mark of a team, especially when you're playing in the Final Four, is that you have to continue to improve as the season goes on. But their ability to stay grounded and connected with each other and communicate on the floor, because the matches have become harder in the last few weeks, as they have prepared to play on the biggest stage in intercollegiate athletics from a men's volleyball standpoint. So I'm proud of them for their steady presence, the way they show up, the way they compete, and looking forward to watching them compete this weekend in Los Angeles.
As Ball State's been coined volleyball capital of the nation, volleyball capital of the world, you look back at all the history where Ball State has been such an instrumental piece in the game of men's volleyball, and it felt like Ball State hosting a regional was another tipping point for the Midwest to showcase, hey, it's not just about the West Coast teams in the men's volleyball landscape. We have a home here in the Midwest, in Indiana, that could be a powerhouse in this game.
Well, if there was any place outside of the West Coast, for there to be an NCAA regional, it was in Muncie, Indiana. And while it wasn't technically in Muncie, Indiana,
yes.
due to our graduation conflict at Worthen Arena, the opportunity in and around the greater Indianapolis area presented the opportunity for us to host the regional at a venue that was only about 30 minutes away. And so we're grateful to be situated in a part of the country that values sport and that values the opportunity to host big events. And I'm really grateful for the Riverview Arena to welcome us, and their staff did an incredible job in putting a first-class event together, along with our leadership and our marketing teams. And we were able to take our floor to the arena, which was very helpful, very beneficial to just putting an environment on display on TV that was worthy of an NCAA regional experience. And so I'm really grateful that we had an opportunity to do that. And to underscore your question and my response, Ball State deserved the opportunity to host. They had earned that throughout the course of the season with their RPI, with their success, with winning the MIVA regular season championship, winning the MIVA tournament championship, and putting the MIVA on full display that Ball State's worthy of being a top 4 seed. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to watch us play in Los Angeles, but I'm grateful that the NCAA men's volleyball committee provided Ball State the opportunity to host, and I think that the teams that came in, Pepperdine and Fort Valley State, enjoyed their experience as well.
When's your flight?
Friday afternoon.
And the match is at 6 o'clock on Saturday.
On Saturday, yes.
So you've got a little bit of cushion.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. What are the other plans when you're in LA?
Don't know yet. My daughter Harper is going to accompany me.
Okay.
And so I'm sure she has some plans.
Yeah, probably.
And so we will take advantage of the time being out there.
My wife just flew to San Diego and trying to convince her to just drive up, go to LA, go be part of the Final Four. So we'll see. We'll see if she does that. Jeff Mitchell with us here on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking men's volleyball, wrapping up the academic year. Steve Lindell said that I need to use the word of the day today, which is penitence. And I'm going to pass the baton to you. And we'll go to break. We'll come back and give you some time to think about it. I'm really good at passing the baton with the word of the day. So I'll give you an extra minute to think about it.
Thanks, Mick.
Jeff Mitchell, Director of Athletics, joins us again here on This Week in Ball State Sports.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Final 21 minutes of This Week in Ball State Sports here in the 25-26 academic year here on WMUN. Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell rejoins us here from Studio B's Wolf Boom campus. Jeff, we went to break, and I gave you a task, and we're going to find out how you feel about that task.
That was the quickest minute break in the history of radio.
It was.
But let me tell you this. We sit here today in Studio B to talk about Ball State athletics, and what I would submit is that the opportunity to sit with you week in and week out to talk Ball State athletics is in some way a form of penitence, because I am unable to be at every event that Ball State Athletics is engaged in on a weekly basis. Now, I try to get to as many as I possibly can, but the forum that this radio show provides allows me to talk about all the wonderful things that we're doing. And so, most of the time, sitting next to you is not penitence, but today, because you have forced me to use the word, maybe it is, because I can't be everywhere at once, and so we get to talk about it right now.
And my penitence is that I've had to bump you from the show a couple times. So I think that might be the right way to use this term.
Well, we'll see.
So forgive me on the times that when Jeff hasn't appeared on the show, more often than not, it's because a certain somebody's had to schedule things around that. So I'll take that one. But we'll move on. He's Jeff Mitchell. Mick Tidrow with you here on This Week in Ball State Sports, final show here of the academic year. We just talked some men's volleyball. We've got some other sports still in action right now. Baseball is winding down. Track and field is about to continue its season with the championships in Muncie next weekend. And those are the two primary things still continuously happening right now. Baseball's only got 2 weekends left, Jeff. This is a pretty big push.
Yeah, I mean, and they're in a spot right now where we got to win some ball games in order to make the conference tournament. Certainly, in the conference tournament, we're to start today, but we still have some work to do with 6 conference games left. And it's hasn't quite been the season that Coach Maloney and our team have wanted, and certainly didn't envision being in kind of the slide that they're in right now. But I do know that there's a resolve there, and they will work as best they can to put our team in a position to make the conference tournament and to compete for a championship when they get there. And then I do think that the community should come to the Briner Sports Complex next weekend and check out the MAC track championships. I think our team is ready to compete, and I think it'll just be exciting when you've got both men's and women's track programs across the league converging on Muncie and Ball State to run really fast. And so it'll a lot of things will be happening from 7 a.m. in the morning till almost dark on a Thursday and a Friday, and the meet concludes on a Saturday of next week. So looking forward to that.
Sun up to sundown, just plan on it.
Yeah, that's right.
For 3 straight days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come join us. Coach Wheatley was very appreciative of how his team has performed this year, but he also said that he feels like there's still some left in the tank, and they feel like they could possibly have 4 individuals compete at the NCAAs this year after the championships conclude in Muncie next week. But he's positioned, and the staff has positioned this team to be a great host for a lot of regards, from a facility standpoint with the new track, but also from a competition standpoint of making a statement, hey, we're the host team, and we've also done this all year to be able to compete at the highest level.
Well, I think Coach Wheatley and his staff do an incredible job of developing talent, generally speaking, but certainly throughout the course of a year. And I think you see that in the variety of athletes that have enjoyed some pretty significant success, whether it's personal records or Ball State records or just winning meets throughout the season. And so I think the weather has been great the last few weeks, and just in terms of the ability to train in comfortable settings, right? Yeah. And I think from what I understand anyway, the cooler weather can assist in running. And so I think that as we prepare to run on our own track and compete in familiar settings, that just lines up well for us to show what Ball State can do and the development of our program over the course of a year. So looking forward to it.
It's not projected to be 80 degrees next week, so the cooler weather might actually be in full effect for the championships.
That's good.
So we might be able to get it exactly how we want it to be from that standpoint.
You're channeling your inner Paul Poteet.
Yeah, well, Paul's much better. I'm just hoping as well. We're throwing out the hope, but it looks like 60, 70 degrees in between there.
That'll be great
somewhere. So hoping the championships are great from a weather standpoint as well. So the new track, we've talked about that a little bit, but from a facility standpoint and being able to put in a bid to host the MAC championships, is that on a rotation for track and field? Because we last hosted in 2019, but it feels like it was moved up this year.
Yeah, so it is on a rotation of sorts, but there's always wrinkles in rotations. And so we were scheduled to host, I think maybe it was a year ago, and or maybe it was next year. I can't remember, Mick. But we were scheduled to host in and around this year. And then it got pushed back a couple of years. And then an opportunity reemerged for the opportunity to host. And we had just put in the track. And so we raised our hand and said, yeah, we'll be happy to do it. So there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to host a conference championship of any kind. And Kirsten Rich in our office has done an outstanding job preparing for the MAC track championships. Of course, what she wasn't expecting was having to coordinate hosting the NCAA regional, right? We started to prepare for that, but that was, you talk about a wrinkle, that was a wrinkle and a curveball to throw to her. And she did a fabulous job in putting that together as well, because she is kind of our championships guru on our staff.
She is going to sleep well in the month of June and July.
She will.
After what May and the end of April brought for her. But love that there was a chance to throw the wrinkle in there and host, especially with the new track. I think that's a fun idea to have Ball State host that with the track and field championship. So again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you're around, Muncie, Indiana, come out to Ball State and enjoy some track and field competition. There's a lot of different events going on. And I think there'll be a list of full events as well coming out soon of what is happening, what will transpire. So obviously check it out, Bryner Sports Complex, and visit ballstatesports.com for more information coming up on that. All right, Jeff and I will return. We'll wrap things up here on This Week in Ball State Sports. One final segment here this academic year from Wolf Boom Radio's campus.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Behind every strong hip and knee. Behind every strong shoulder.
Good catch.
Behind every strong team is our highly skilled team of experts in orthopedics. IU Health is the official healthcare and sports medicine provider of Ball State Athletics, and we're here to keep you moving. From acute injuries to chronic pain and conditions, go where the athletes go. Walk-in appointments for new injuries are available Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can always schedule a same-day or next-day appointment and wait from the comfort of your home. Visit iuhealth.org/MuncieOrtho to learn more.
For one final time, we return here on This Week in Ball State Sports for this academic year, wrapping up the 25-26 calendar year from a Ball State athletics standpoint. And then we'll get you ready for August. We'll be back in August from this show's format, but we'll have content here from Studio B throughout the summer with some of our programs. Jeff will join us here periodically as well, just to have updates on what's coming. But from an on-air standpoint, this is our final show until August. So, Jeff, we were talking about track and field, baseball, also the men's volleyball team. I think the ace from Patrick Rogers will go down as the final point to send Ball State to the Final Four. That'll go down as one of the biggest moments in Ball State athletics history.
Well, without question it will, but it was the serve before.
That's true.
Right? And then the monster block, when the score was 14-13, the monster block to make it 14 all was huge too. And then the two aces by Patrick. But, yeah, the winning ace will certainly be memorialized as a great Ball State moment, not only in men's volleyball history, but certainly in athletics history overall. I
can't believe just how both of those, the Ball State Pepperdine match and the UCLA-UC Irvine match ended very similarly, with the team that lost was ahead by multiple points in the fifth set. The other team comes back and wins. Just amazing theater, and the Final Four is about to be electric.
Well, and I think the Irvine-UCLA match, and this probably for any UCLA fans that are listening right now are cringing, but UCLA thought they'd won.
Right.
And
celebrating everything.
Their call, the winning point was overturned, awarding it to UC Irvine, which propelled them to be in a position to win the match. So what a crazy turn of events in both those matches. But those things happen when you're competing for a berth in the Final Four, regardless of the sport. So why not Ball State?
Why not Ball State? Indeed, they've got a chance to do it against that UC Irvine team. So both teams coming off of thrilling 5-set wins, and they'll compete in LA on Saturday. All right, Jeff, we've got a couple minutes left here of the show, but want to go through the basketball landscape of things. Women's basketball didn't have too many roster spots to fill in the transfer portal. They've added a couple of pieces on the men's basketball side, basically an entire new roster for Coach Capco and this first-year coaching staff. What have you seen from both basketball programs to put them in positions to be successful for this next academic year?
Well, despite the different numbers of recruits and talent and student athletes that the coaches were seeking, the consistency amongst both coaching staffs in terms of their approach has been on display. And what I mean is that they were very targeted, very strategic about the caliber of player that they wanted. And for Coach Selly in women's basketball, they were looking for athleticism. And I think they got that in the two student athletes from the transfer portal, certainly the incoming freshmen that are highly touted, highly regarded as well. And so that'll complement the athleticism of our current roster. And then on the men's side with Coach Capco and his staff, they were looking for athletic players that could get up and down the floor, that can play good defense, but that were offensive-minded. You know, the offensive efficiency is very important to Coach Capco, guys that can shoot the ball at a high rate. And I think we've found that in the amount of transfers and the incoming freshmen. We've got a couple of freshmen, a couple of returning players, and then a lot of transfers, which is the norm now in our current landscape. But really excited to get all student athletes across both programs on campus at various times throughout the summer, so that the summer access period will provide the opportunity for our coaches and the staff and our student athletes to get together for the first time to get ready for next year.
Summer access has become more and more important in the last couple of years when you're building a new team.
Well, exactly. And it used to be important just because it provided opportunities to practice. But now when you are assembling brand new rosters, you need the extra time to help get those rosters on the same page, to get them connected as they go into the season. And I do think the value of the summer access is really important, particularly in today's game.
All right, Jeff, looking at the football roster, the football squad, opening up at Ohio State. The next time we have a conversation on WMUN together, we'll be getting ready for said football game, Ball State and Ohio State. It'll come up quickly, but from what you've seen in the last couple of months, how have you seen Ball State football be in the position to improve on last year, Coach Hughes' second year, make that jump? What have you seen there to give you that confidence that this year can be the one to make the jump?
Well, I think we're continuing to make really good progress from a recruiting standpoint, from a development standpoint. Coach Hughes tells everyone that he thinks we're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger at every position, and that football players on our team really enjoy the game. And I think that's what he's craving is to have individuals that really love football be on his team, and certainly those that are fast and strong and powerful.
That helps.
That also helps.
Certainly helps.
So I think he's pleased with the progress of the team. I think he was pleased that he had as many student athletes to participate in spring practice as he did. Now we've got another, I think it's somewhere between 16 and 18 that will show up for the first time later this month, and will begin their summer access period along with everybody else. So there'll be the opportunity to get those new guys on the same page. You'll have a few freshmen that are in that group. You'll have a few transfers, but that have played college football before, so it won't have as steep a learning curve as perhaps the freshmen will. But we had a lot of individuals come in, early enrollees, high school students that graduated early, certainly some transfers that came in at mid-year. That's really helpful when you're trying to put in an offense, when you're trying to put in a defense, when you're trying to gel and be connected as a new group, because half our roster is different this year, and it'll be more than half once these new guys get here as we go into the 26th season. But Coach Rumovich does a nice job of installing schemes and systems in a very methodical way. And I think our guys are prepared. I think he saw that growth over the course of the spring. I think that will continue as they refine what they want to do this summer. And then as we get into fall camp, I think we'll be ready to go. So it'll be a fun season.
It will be. We can't wait to see it all unfold. BallStateSports.com. Get your tickets. Look at the schedule. Check it out. The season will be here before you know it. All right, Jeff, the last portion of This Week in Ball State Sports here for the academic year. Got to ask the fun questions about the overarching landscape of the NCAA one final time before we get to August. Have you heard anything new on the 5-5 possibility, 5 years for players?
Yeah, so Mick, you're referencing the proposed new model of student athletes having 5 years to compete in 5 years of competition. So in other words, you can play 5 years now, and you can do that in a 5-year period. I do think that will go into effect. I think it remains to be seen exactly when that timing will begin. There's a lot of logistics to sort through. The NCAA, college athletics at the Division I level, Division II, Division III is going to continue to change. We are in a very disruptive time. We've been in this disruptive time for the past couple of years.
Ever since you were hired.
Is there a correlation?
There's a correlation of chaos, I guess.
I'm not so sure that causation doesn't necessarily equal correlation, or
Definitely
the reverse
not.
correlation, causation, something like that.
It's just ironic.
Yeah,
It's
is
just coincidental.
It is purely coincidental. But we will continue to monitor what is happening in the landscape. Ball State as an institution, Ball State as an athletics department is continuing to adjust. We're trying not to overreact when things happen, but we're trying to position ourselves in a way that remains true to the values of the institution and how we can capitalize on it as it serves us the best way to represent Ball State in the best way possible. But this 5-for-5 model is interesting. What it would do, though, is completely cut back on waivers. So you're not going to have student athletes who are applying to play in a 6th year, right, to get a 4th year of eligibility.
An 8th year.
Or that, right? I mean, we've seen some of those anomalies, and this will cut that back. Of course, there will be some built-in exceptions, one for military service, one for in the event of a pregnancy, and there's a third one that
religious
affiliation. So those three certainly will qualify student athletes for waivers, but that's it, and it'll be very limited to those three different situations. But there'll be no more medical hardships, no injury waivers, things like that. So we'll see. There's some talk that it could go into effect as early as this coming year. But the student athletes who just graduated this past year that may have qualified would not qualify for another year. So at some point there's going to be a bright line that's going to be drawn, and the new era will begin after that point, right?
The next new era.
And it'll be, unfortunate for those that were on the other side of that line. But at some point, when you establish rules as an organization, we've got to be able to establish rules and then and have them enforced.
We'll see how it all breaks down. There's a lot to wait for, a lot to see over the summer on what will happen with the NCAA and some of those rules. Well, Jeff, thank you for always being a guest on this show. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for what you've done to make this all happen. So we appreciate it, and we'll talk with you in August.
Thank you, Mick. Go Cards.
That's Director of Athletics Jeff Mitchell here with us on This Week in Ball State Sports. This is our final show until we get to August, so make sure to check out all replays by just searching This Week in Ball State Sports wherever you get your podcasts, and then also be ready to tune in August. Thank you, Aiden Foster, for producing today and so many of our shows, and all those that helped get this on the air. This Week in Ball State Sports is out. We'll see you in August.
Thanks for listening to This Week in Ball State Sports. The preceding has been a Gamebridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network presentation.